Hey Capricorn, how are we today? Just doing our weekly readings. This week we are just sort of looking at a bit of a general spread. I will be looking into career and finances, and then I will pull a few cards for physical health and well-being as well. Please make sure you do like and subscribe to the channel. I do really appreciate the support. Obviously, just a super small channel, so it really does help. But today we are actually going to be using the Jester Lenormand. I also have the Soul's Journey lesson cards. But starting us off today, I do have the magical messages from the fairies, okay? So getting straight on into it. Capricorn, what does Capricorn need to be aware of? What's going on for our Capricorns? Capricorn Collective. Bit of a mixed bag today, Capricorn. Firstly, we have be yourself, okay? This situation calls for you to be your authentic self, which is the basis for your personal power. So no need to hide behind that Capricorn hard worker mask, all right? Be your authentic self. Be true to yourself, all right, Capricorn? We are also seeing dietary change coming through. So we may end up getting a bit more detail about that when we do look at the health cards, but improve your diet and your life will also improve, all right? So quite a lot of you needing to make some sort of dietary change at the moment, but this can actually also talk about, not just your diet, but like improving the way that you consume. All right. So not just the food that you're consuming, but the way that you consume things and people. There may be something about that that needs to slightly change for you as well. So if you do find that you consume a lot of television, you consume, it could be a lot of things like yeah, I'm just getting those sort of references though. um like like consuming too much television or something along that line, like binge watching too much crappy TV or something along those lines, Capricorn. Just needing to make some slight changes with the way that we're consuming, and that whether it be food or otherwise, it feels like you're just overindulging in something at the moment. I feel like for some of you, it's definitely not food. It's something else. Like you're watching too much TV or you're overindulging in alcohol or something along those lines. So just a small change within your consuming factor. All right. We also are seeing travel, Capricorn. An upcoming trip proves to be life-changing in positive ways. All right. So some of you may be traveling. I feel like I do feel like that this is kind of out of the blue traveling. That this is like you don't know about this yet. That this is like unexpected travel. And it may not even be that far. Like I'm kind of getting it may just be like a short distance, but you're having to just travel somewhere out of the norm, somewhere different to where you normally travel. So if your normal traveling route to work, for example, there's going to be like a detour or something, and you have to travel to a different suburb this week or next week or one day. But there's actually something about that is life changing in some sort of positive way. So it's some sort of unexpected travel. It may for some of you, this is like if you use public transport. It's like I'm distinctly getting that for some of you this is like a some sort of traveling issue that arises. So it's like 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 a detour, like I just said, there's a detour on your drive to work, or you're catching public transport, and the bus breaks down, or the train line is not in service that day and you have to catch a bus instead. But this change, this thing, the travel in itself is, whatever's happening to do with that travel, that transport, it actually brings around positive changes for you. So it's kind of like, even if it's like you have to take your car in to get serviced, and then you meet someone at the mechanic that you wouldn't have met if you didn't take your car, it's something along those lines. It's kind of coming through as slightly absurd, but like it'll all make sense when it happens, or down the track, it'll all make sense, and you'll look back and you'll go, if my train hadn't been delayed that day, I never would have seen that thing, or met that person, or something along those lines. It's going to change your life for the better in the long run. All right. So I feel like I'm kind of getting a Capricorn looking back from like a year from now, going, you know what? It all started back when that train was delayed, or it all started that day I had to go that different route and I never knew that shop existed. And then ever since I saw that shop, I decided to stop there another day. And, and it's just like something that snowballs. So there's some small, tiny change or detour that's happening with transport or travel that actually, snowballs into these changes in your life. So it's like you break down on the side of the road, and someone pulls over and helps you, and you never would have met that person if you hadn't have broken down in the first place. It's something random and absurd. So it may actually be quite absurd for some of you. Something might happen while you're on a train or a bus or in your car, and you'll just think to yourself, that is absurd. And then, a year from now, you're looking back and you're going, wow, if that didn't happen, this would never have happened. So bizarre. Okay, Capricorn. What's going on for our Capricorns, please? Oh, did you watch my recent All Signs Capricorn? What was it? The New Love. I think it was the New Love All Signs I did recently. I'm getting the same message from what that was. I feel like this is in regard to love too, just intuitively. Can I just get clarity for that third card for Capricorn? What is that third card representing specifically, please? Yeah. Pretty much the same message I was getting the other day in that All Signs reading, Capricorn. So if you haven't watched that one, maybe go back and watch that, because I'm pretty sure it was the New Love All Signs. The one I did before that was the past person. So they both of those may be relevant to what I'm seeing here. All right. Either the past or the new. New love or the past person may be relevant here. All right. Because I from my memory, like I normally, when I do a reading, it'll go out of my mind pretty quickly. But then sometimes I'll see something that'll remind me of that, and it sort of flags in my mind, which is what is happening here. Because I do recall that there was a past person coming up in, I think it was in the New Love reading. Okay. So, I do feel as though it was a past person in the new. So, and that's kind of what I'm seeing here. All right. Because I do have the rider, some sort of news on the way. All right. A rider. We have the birds, a conversation. Okay. So we've got a conversation about to happen. You know, someone's coming in quickly, ready to have a conversation with you. All right. This is talking, quite a lot of talking comes through with the birds. It's like that, you know, do these birds ever shut up? You know, it's kind of that kind of vibe, you know, the birds in the tree and they're just squawking all night long. That's what this conversation is. It's a very, I feel like it might be even, you know, a deeper, meaningful type conversation, but because it's good news. The good news is that this conversation is on the way. So that's sort of how that is presenting. And then we do have the Tower, which was clarified by the ring. Okay, so pretty straightforward. This is a past relationship. Someone from the past coming back around to have a conversation with you. You know, they're wanting to talk. They definitely could be talking about your, you know, it could be a conversation with, it may be totally irrelevant to a past person, but it may be more about, you know, you having a conversation with somebody about the foundations that you set up within relationships. So, you know, just using my own personal life as an example, I see a psychologist frequently. I personally think everybody should see a psychologist. But you know, I'm neurodivergent. Psychology is so useful. It's such a great tool. And my psych actually watches some of my videos. So, but this could even be that sort of a thing. You know, me, you know, on my way to see my psych, having to talk to her about the foundations that I have set up in past relationships. All right, so it could be a conversation that's actually not specifically with this past person, but I'm just intuitively feeling that for a lot of you, this is a conversation with a past person or in regard to a past person. But I am sort of getting that inkling that for maybe one or two of you, it's just in regard to the foundations that you've set up in past connections. All right, I'm just going to get an outcome from this conversation for you, Capricorn, because as we all know, I am a Capricorn and I am nosy and I do like to know what is going on for us. Outcomes for this conversation for Capricorn, please. Okay, so we've, hang on, is that, clarify that, please. Clarify that as an outcome for Capricorn. We have the broom, which is the whip in the traditional deck. So the outcome of this conversation could lead to more trouble, but I'm overwhelmingly feeling that it's that clean slate, that spring cleaning kind of vibe where you sweep away the past and you start fresh kind of vibe coming through with that whip. That is clarified by the scythe. So it's kind of like an unexpected change occurring, you know, a sudden break from this past energy, from a sudden break from any tension that you may have felt from the past, from that there. I do feel like it's a clean break, sort of a clean break kind of energy, a spring clean within yourself, you know, sweeping out the old so you're ready to go with the new is the overall outcome from that conversation. It's kind of like closure maybe for a lot of you there. All right, that's what we have for that one. But we'll have a look at career and finances. Career and finances for our Capricorns. We're seeing for some of you here, it doesn't want to talk too much about career and finances. Other than discipline. All right, discipline is directly talking about your finances. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. So setting a goal and sticking to it, sticking to whatever's necessary to meet that goal. So when we see financial discipline, it's kind of like that. Don't overspend. If you're trying to, you know, set yourself a certain budget, stick to the budget. be quite disciplined with the way that you are doing things with your finances, as well as, just generally within your career as well. It's kind of talking about sticking to the format. You know what works, stick with it, kind of a thing. Being quite disciplined. If you know that a task needs to be done in a certain way, make sure you are doing it in that certain way. Don't try to change it around, because you will encounter issues. All right. But then, I am seeing these career cards being affected by what's going on in your personal life. All right. So we do have change. So I'm kind of feeling, which is kind of odd for Capricorn, right? Because we are well known to be, the career, the money sign, and then your career money factor. It feels like you're more focused on other things at this time. You're not necessarily that focused on the career factor at this time, the money factor, which is, quite odd for Capricorn. Or then again, the other thing it could be too is that you're so confident and so assured within career and finances that, Spirit is kind of being like, you know what, you're a Capricorn. You don't need my advice. You don't need my help with your career or your finances. You're all good. So let's just focus on this other stuff. All right, which we're seeing change. All right. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. All right. So that's representation of this card here that we saw, clarifying that clean start. Things need to change with whatever that past, that conversation that's going on with that past person. Things need to change. All right. Nothing can grow or evolve without movement. And it may be scary to change, but the best that you can hope for is never possible if there's no change, because if you're too worried about the worst that can happen, you're never going to grow or evolve. All right. So don't be scared of change at the moment, Capricorn, especially with relationships. All right. We have got the relationships card coming out. It does say, I am attracted to those people who serve my highest good. All right. So really, when we're thinking about this past connection, if someone is coming in with a conversation, if they're not, if that conversation is not serving your highest good, that can cut that away, cut that out, break free from that, change. Don't be afraid of that change. If you need to cut something out because it's not serving your highest good, do not be afraid of cutting something out for your highest good. All right. So really attracted to those people who serve your highest good, really focusing on, the relationships that serve you, and not being afraid to release the relationships that do not serve you, whether that's within love, friendship, whatever. If that relationship is not doing you any good, why are you allowing it to continue? All right. Okay, well, we'll have a look at your health and well-being. Okay, Capricorn. Physical health and well-being for our Capricorns. Okay, so I am seeing the flowers, all right, and that has come out with the fox energy, all right. So the flowers is all about giving and receiving. So especially with that fox energy, I hate to say it, Capricorn, but this can talk about someone who's contagious, because giving and receiving. So you may be receiving something from somebody. This can talk about contagious, especially with that fox. Okay, because the fox energy can talk about someone who's a bit of a player, um, sleeping around, casual relations. All right, be very careful, Capricorn. Protect yourself. All right, worry about your own survival. All right, make sure you're not catching anything off this player, if that's what's going on for some of you here. All right, so be super careful about that. We are also seeing, though, with the flowers, it can talk about allergies, sinus issues, hay fever, all that sort of stuff, asthma. All right, so you may be having some sort of hay fever type allergies occurring in the next couple of weeks. I'm not going to lie, I'm having a hay fever day myself. I had to take my hay fever medication today, although it is spring here in Australia and it is a super windy day. So there's like pollen all over the place today. So kind of to be expected when that's the case. But for the rest of the world there, it's not spring. So, just be aware that there may be like an asthma attack or a hay fever thing. So make sure you've got your, your medication or whatever handy, all right, so that we're not getting too problematic with that, all right. That Fox energy also can talk about issues with food. We did see that dietary change issue coming through. So especially with the allergies as well. So you may be allergic to a food and not be aware of that. There may be a food allergy or a food sensitivity that you are needing to cut from your diet. All right. There definitely may be something that I'm just getting that lactose intolerance or something where you keep wondering why you feel crap, but it's because you're actually lactose intolerant and you didn't know. And then you cut milk from your diet and all of a sudden you're like, oh wow, I feel so much better all the time. What's going on? Something little. I don't think it's anything huge, but not like it would only be a really small, not a allergy as such. I don't think more of a small intolerance to a certain food, and cutting that food out is actually going to help you big time. All right. But we are also seeing the crossroad, okay? So for some of you, there may be some sort of health decision that you are going to be faced with in the near future. It's just that it's nothing. I don't think it's anything huge. It's just some sort of small decision, like, do I get this medication or that medication? It's just a superficial type of decision that you're needing to make in regard to your health. But majority of you, this is actually saying to us that you're on the right path. The path that you're leading at the moment with your health seems to be heading down the right path. Nothing really flagging out like super worrying. As long as we're protecting ourselves from any player energy that might, could just be any contagion as well. Okay, so just be careful with contagious stuff. If you know someone who's contagious, don't go too close to them. All right. So yeah, I'm just getting, you're on the right path with your health. You already know what you need to do for your health, and you're doing it. All right, you're traveling in the right direction. All right, so that's what I have for you today, Capricorn. More than welcome to check your other placements, but hopefully I'll see you all again soon.